Happy Saturday, YouTube. How are you guys doing? How is your weekend going? I want to make some bofloats, bofrot, puff puff, Ankara, whatever you call it. I want to say it's African donuts, but then again, we also have donuts back home. So I don't know if I should say African donuts because same mixture. Same, oh, let me mix this more. Same mixture, or at least similar, but different parts of Africa calls it something else. Ghana calls it bofloats or bofrots. Is there another name that we call it? Yeah, there's those two. Bofloats, bofrots. Sierra Leone calls it puff akara. Sierra Leone is my motherland, by the way. So you can call me Sierra Leonean, you can call me Ghanaian, but yeah, Sierra Leonean is my base. So Sierra Leone calls it akara. Nigeria calls it puff puff. Look at my coffee / hot chocolate cup. It's actually a camera. It's a lens, okay? I love pictures, videos, photography, videography. Even though I've had a Canon Rebel for the last hey, is it 10 years now? I've had it for 10 years and still haven't actually dared to learn how to use it. I use it from time to time, but if I tell you I actually know what I'm doing on that camera, and I take good pictures with it sometimes, but I don't know how to work it for the lightning of the camera to work for itself. Yeah, that's a terrible thing to be saying because it's terrible. How can you have an item for 10 years and you still have not made an effort to learn how to use it? That's very funny. That's funny, but that's sad. And that's my reality. Okay, so there goes the lens because I love photography, I love videos, I love anything that has to do with producing some type of image. And I do take pretty good pictures and videos, especially with my phone. But then I've had the professional camera, which is a Canon Rebel. I've had it for 10 years and still have not made an effort to actually sit down and learn how to use every feature in that camera. So that's a sad reality, but I'm going to do better, okay? I have it. I barely use it though. I use it from time to time and I do take some good pictures and videos with it. However, I feel like I'm not having the full benefits of the device because I haven't put in the time to learn how to use it. Okay? Anyways, let's get started. I'm about to make what we call, you okay, baby? I'm about to make what we call bofloats in Ghana. Akara, like I told you guys, I'm Ghanaian, Sierra Leonean, okay? But Sierra Leone is my base. That's my motherland. We call it akara in Sierra Leone. And we call it bofloats, bofrots in Ghana. And Nigerians also calls it puff puff. And I do have some Yoruba running through my veins as well, even though I've never been to Nigeria or have anything to do directly with Nigeria. But I do have some Yoruba blood running through my veins. But my motherland is Sierra Leone, and yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and make the mixture, and then we'll have to let it rise for about 45 minutes to an hour. And we can be doing other things while that is happening, okay? So, I'm going to mix it in this big bowl. First, let me get all of my tools and then I'll wash my hands and we can get started. When we're going to need a sifter to sieve. So every time you bake or you do anything that has to do with dry ingredients, especially flour, you want to sieve your flour, okay? You don't want to go ahead and make a big batch of something just to realize that it's messed up because there was some type of debris in your flour. It's coming from the store. At any point, maybe a grain was not properly milled, whatever. Make sure you sieve your flour first. I am going to be using some self-rising flour for this one. Usually I'll use all-purpose flour and then I'll put baking powder and yeast. But for today we're not using baking powder, we're using self-rising flour and yeast, okay? And for the yeast, I'm going to use the instant yeast. So guess what? We don't have to wait forever for it to rise. It's going to rise in like 30 minutes or so. And you need your measuring cup. This is the only 1 cup measuring cup I currently have in my house or in my kitchen. I had a set of measuring cups that I purchased a couple of years ago, and then when the rice was finished, I forgot I left the measuring cup in the bag and it went to the trash. So I no longer have 1 cup as part of my other measuring cup. This is the longest standing 1 cup measuring cup that I have. And so I use it pretty much for everything. So that's what I'm going to be using. So let me wash my hands real quick. Let's get started. I'm going to bring you guys closer. Oh, let's see. I should have brought you guys closer first. Okay. My phone is charging, so it's far away. I'm going to pull you guys closer and then I would... Okay, I'm at a good charge. All right, so let's see if you guys can see really well, because I want you to see everything that I'm doing. Okay, is that a good spot? I think it's a good spot. Okay, so now that you guys are closer, let me go ahead. All right. Let me get, usually I use my hands, but you can also use a spatula, which makes it very easy and you have less mess, but you can always use a spatula to stir. And I have not gotten my warm water. Let me get my warm water. Alrighty, and I usually would put butter. I have seen some people put yogurt. I have tried a yogurt and it was pretty nice as well. But for me, for the longest time, I did my bofloat without butter, but at some point I did add butter to it. So here goes the mixture. We're going to use 5 cups of self-rising flour. I have not used self-rising flour in forever, guys. I have not used self-rising flour in forever. Usually I use all-purpose flour. And then I use baking powder. But it should work the same. Self-rising flour just cuts out the aspect of the baking powder. But if you didn't have the self-rising flour, I do have a bofloat video currently on on this channel, so you can always tune in and get the exact measurements, okay, the recipe. Okay, and when we talk about getting a cup of flour, it's leveled, okay, level cup, 1 cup. You want to make sure it's never heaped, okay? If it's heaped, oh, it's actually some type of donuts, you would say. It's called bofloat slash bofrot slash Ankara puff puff. It's more like donuts. It's a round donuts. The texture is donuts, but the shape is round. Yeah, this is a staple in many African households. If you go to like African parties and stuff, West African parties, you will see this there a lot. It's called bofloat, okay, or bofrot, puff puff, Ankara. Those are the different names that different parts would call it, different countries. And that's what I put in the title. This is 4 cups. And we have one more, making it 5. Level cups. 5. Alrighty. And then, oh, I forgot to get my grater and my nutmeg. I'm gonna use 1 cup of sugar for this recipe. One cup of sugar for the 5 cup of flour. All right, as you can see here, the yeast is what you want to add last. I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of salt, probably half teaspoon of salt. And then we want to grate our nutmeg into the mix. And you want to make sure everything is combined before you actually think of putting the yeast. Because sometimes, from what I hear, the salt can kill the yeast, okay? So the nutmeg, I'm using the whole cloves of nutmeg. I have the nutmeg powder, but I also have the cloves, so I'm using the cloves. So we're gonna, oh, I have one that is already grated. This one looks like it just break. Okay, let's try one fresh one. So you grate some nutmeg in. So this is going to be nice and fluffy and soft on the inside and with a bit of crunch on the outside. And a lot of people would actually test their yeast to make sure the yeast is still alive by putting it in, adding the yeast to a bowl of sugar. Well, some sugar, maybe like a tablespoon or 2 of sugar, and then pouring the yeast in there. And then when you see that the yeast foams up, it means that your yeast is still good. I use this much. All right. You see how much? Yeah, so this much does not need to be in there. I mean, it's sugar. It'll melt, but I'd rather get rid of it. So you want to stir everything, all of your dried ingredients together. And then now we can add our yeast or yeast, okay, from the yeast. Some people call it yeast. And this is the instant one, guys. Okay, let's go here. Just one pack, okay? One pack, only one. And this is for 5 cups, by the way. And then you can add about a tablespoon of butter if you want, just for that extra crunch. I'd say a tablespoon or 2. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add the hot water. You don't want to add too much, okay? I have the exact measurements on this channel, so make sure you check it out. You want a light dough. You don't want like batter where it's a bit runny. You want it to be in between dough and butter, okay? A little tiny bit more. So pretty much everything we had in a jar, gone. Okay, this is a little too thick. Let me add a little more. We don't want it super runny, but we also don't want it to be doughy. We want our batter to be very consistent. In between runny and doughy. Okay? So this texture seems to be a bit too thick. And this soft rising flour seems to be very elastic. It's different from the all-purpose flour from what I'm experiencing here. Making sure I'm mashing every lump, which I don't see much of, but let's just mash it a little bit to get any lump that will be still hiding in there out. Okay, so this is the perfect batter texture that we want, okay? This way. It's not runny and it's not doughy, okay? And then we're gonna set this aside to rise till it doubles or triple in size. And then we're going to deflate it and fry. And that's it, as simple as that. So you mix your very beautiful dough, allow it to double or triple in size, and then you deflate it, and then you fry, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to just clean my spatula. I'm using my spatula to clean the wooden spoon. Clean all around. And then we're gonna cover it. It's best if you put it in a warm, dark area. Better so you can just cover it on your countertop with a dishcloth, and that works too. So you cover it with the lid of the bowl. So you cover it with the lid of the bowl, and then you set it aside. Okay, I'm just gonna put it on the stove top, and I'm gonna cover it with this dishcloth. Okay, and that should be fine. And in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I'm gonna check on it, deflate it, and fry it. I'm gonna cover it with 2 napkins. Okay, so 1 on each side. So for right now, we're done. All right, I'm gonna just put things away, clean my surface. To put this in a Ziploc. lyrics. I mean, I apologize to all the artists ahead of time because, boy, I can just be messing up good songs. Well, I'm not bad with lyrics. It's just that I don't know. I'm not familiar with the song. That's what it is. I know the tune, but not the song. Ooh, I hurt my nail. Okay, let's put this here. You don't need a Ziploc. Let's put you here. Okay. I'll try to put the rest of the sugar in a Ziploc bag, but it's way too much. I'm supposed to just pour it in a sugar container and leave it in there. But I haven't done that. Alrighty. Gotta wet this one. And then clean my surface while the bofloat is rising. I'm gonna just take this opportunity to fry some plantains because I have a lot of ripe plantains. We eat ripe plantains. I used some for plantain chips the other day, but we still have a lot of ripe plantains. So we put them in the fridge because we use them. So I can actually go ahead and make like your kegari. Ooh, tapale. Delicious tapale. I think that's what we'll eat for dinner today. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see how much beans my husband cooked. Okay. This is not going to be... Daddy. Daddy. Dada. This beans you cooked, do you think it's enough for the 5 of us? If I want to make your kagari? We'll be doing the, what is it called? The gourmet style? Gourmet size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Gourmet size of kagari. That's nice. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to, I'm waiting for my bofloat to rise. So I'm going to go ahead and fry this one thing online.
Okay.
Maybe I should disconnect and reconnect for the plantain so that the title will be different.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let me do that. Because right now I don't think I have anyone here.
Okay.
They say da da Alright, you guys. Yeah, there's no one here. Oh, one person joined. I don't know who that is, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect while I'm waiting for the bofloat to rise, which is going to take about 30 minutes or so because it's been rising for at least 5 minutes. So I'm going to disconnect, jump on live again to fry some plantains, okay? Because we're going to do yoke gari for dinner. So let me disconnect, fry plantain, and there we have it. All right, guys, I'll see you soon when it's time to fry. I'll be back on live, okay? All right, bye-bye.